God said this is what you were born to do.
Wọ́n ní Olúwa sọ pé ohun tó a ti torí ẹ̀ bí ọ sáyé fún ni.
A king who is passionate about empowering people.
Ọba tó jẹ́ wípé gbígbé àwọn èèyàn ga, gbígbé wọn ró, ó múmú láyà wọn.
That some people thought that because Kábíyèsí had been a pastor,
Pé bóyá nítorí wípé Kábíyèsí wa wọ́n ti jẹ́ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn rí.
that he was going to favor the Christians over people of other faiths.
Pé bóyá wọ́n máa sojú ṣáájú àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì ju gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn yòókù lọ.
I laughed when I heard.
Mo rẹ́rìn nígbà tí mo gbọ́.
Because I knew that whoever said that does not know our Kábíyèsí. So we knew that our king would rule for all.
A mọ̀ wípé ọba wa ń ó ṣe ìjọba fún gbogbo ènìyàn.
When I looked for who helped me deal with evil powers,
Tí n bá ronú pé ta lẹni tó ràn mí lọ́wọ́ láti dojúkọ àwọn agbára òkùnkùn.
the person I saw there,
Ẹni tí mo máa ń rí ń bẹ̀
apart from my wife,
yàtọ̀ sí ìyàwó mi,
was our Kábíyèsí.
òun ni Kábíyèsí tó jù.
Where our king, our Kábíyèsí,
Níbi tí Kábíyèsí wa
has got involved in matters,
tí wọ́n ti kópa nínú oríṣiríṣi ọ̀rọ̀
carried it upon himself,
tí wọ́n gbé kárí fún ara wọn,
fought on people's behalf,
tí wọ́n ti jà fún àwọn ènìyàn
who had no relationship
tí
with
wọ́n
him.
tiẹ̀ ní ìbáṣepọ̀ kankan pẹ̀lú.
If you're looking for a fighter,
Tí ẹ bá ń wá àjàjàgbara,
a true lion,
ẹni tá a lè fi wé kìnìún tí ẹ bẹ̀rù,
somebody who will carry the fight of people,
ẹni tí ó gbé ẹrù ẹlẹ́rù sí àyà tiẹ̀,
God has blessed you with that kind of king.
Ọlọ́run ti fún yín nírú ènìyàn bẹ́ẹ̀.
His Imperial Majesty Oba Ghandi Afolabi Olaoye Orumogege III, the Shoun of Ogbomosoland,
Kábíyèsí aláyélúwà Ọba Afolabi Ghandi.
I remember in the early days,
Mo rántí ní àwọn ọjọ́ díẹ̀ sẹ́yìn,
and that is history now,
èyí sì ti di ìtàn báyìí.
when Kábíyèsí
Nígbà tí Kábíyèsí
was first approached
tí wọ́n wá bá wọn
to put his heart into the ring
pé kí wọ́n múra lẹ̀ láti joyè,
to be the Shoun of Ogbomosoland.
láti jẹ́ Ṣọ̀ún ilẹ̀ Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́.
I think we must thank Prof for this.
A ní láti dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n fún eléyìí.
I remember him calling me,
Mo rántí pé wọ́n pè mí.
and we said to ourselves, why will they think that he will leave America?
Àwa ń sọ pé báwo ni wọ́n ṣe lè rò wípé wọ́n fi orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà sílẹ̀.
Leave one of the most successful churches in America.
Kí wọ́n fi ìkan lára àwọn ìjọ tó ti ní àṣeyọrí rere sílẹ̀.
Live a comfortable life.
Kí wọ́n fi ìgbé ayé ìgbádùn sílẹ̀.
No electricity failure.
Kò sí pé à ń múná lọ.
No Okada.
Kò sí pé ọ̀kadà ń gbé ni wọ́n lẹ̀.
The roads are paved.
Gbogbo àwọn ọ̀nà ló dí pínpín tó sì dára.
You turn on the tap, water comes.
Wọ́n bá ti ṣí omi ẹ̀rọ yà ìlomi ó mọ̀ dà.
If you have a problem, you call the police come.
Bí wàhálà bá wà, tẹ àwọn ọlọ́pàá láago wọ́n ti dé.
Both of us laughed
Àwa méjèèjì wá rẹ́rìn
that I will leave this
pé a wá fi eléyìí lẹ̀
to go and sit in Ogbomoso.
láti lọ jókòó s'Ógbómọ̀ṣọ́.
But then,
Ṣùgbọ́n
because he is a man of God,
nítorí pé wọ́n jẹ́ ènìyàn Ọlọ́run,
we agreed that he should at least pray
àwa fẹnu kò pé ó tiẹ̀ yẹ kí wọ́n kọ́kọ́ gbàdúrà
and ask God.
kí wọ́n sì béèrè lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run.
We were certain
A ní ìdánilójú
that God would agree with us,
pé Ọlọ́run ó gbà pẹ̀lú wa
that no one leaves America,
pé ẹnìkan ò lè fi Amẹ́ríkà lẹ̀,
especially if you're doing well in America,
pàápàá jùlọ téèyàn máa ń ṣe rere ní Amẹ́ríkà,
to go and sit in Ogbomoso.
wọ́n wá lọ jókòó s'Ógbómọ̀ṣọ́.
So he said to me
Wọ́n wá sọ fún mi wípé
that he'll go away for a weekend
wípé àwọn yẹra sí apá kan,
and lock himself in a room
àwọn ó sì lọ fara pamọ́ nínú yàrá kan
to hear what God would say to
láti
him.
gbọ́ ohun tí Ọlọ́run ó bá wọn sọ.
I expected to hear from him
Mo ń retí pé kí n gbọ́ èsì láti ọ̀dọ̀ wọn
at the end of 3 days.
lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta.
But at the end of the first night in the morning,
Ní òru àkọ́kọ́ nígbà tí ilẹ̀ mọ́,
my phone rang
mo gbọ́ tí fóònù mi láago.
and I looked at it.
Mo wá wò ó,
It was Kábíyèsí's number.
mo rí wípé
I said,
kábíyèsí ni wọ́n ń
why is
pè.
he calling me now?
mo ń béèrè pé èsè tán fi ń pè mí báyìí.
He's not supposed to talk to any human being
wọn nílò láti bá ènìyàn kankan sọ̀rọ̀
until the end of 3 days.
títí di ọjọ́ kẹta ó fi pé.
So I answered the phone.
mo wá gbé ìpè náà.
He said to me by a name that he calls me, which I cannot say publicly.
wọ́n pè mí pẹ̀lú orúkọ tó máa fi pè mí tó yẹ pé láàrin àwa méjèèjì ló wà tí mi ò lè sọ gbangba.
He said to me, God has spoken to me.
wọ́n ní ọlọ́run àti bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀.
So I said, oh yes, he agreed with us.
mo ní ó ti dà bẹ́ẹ̀ ọlọ́run ti gbà pẹ̀lú wa.
He said, no.
wọ́n ní rárá o.
I said, he didn't agree with us.
pé ọlọ́run ò gbà pẹ̀lú wa.
I said, so what did he say to you?
pé kí lọ́lọ́run wá sọ gan.
He said a sentence that I have heard many times before from him, many times after from him.
wọ́n wá sọ gbólóhùn kan tó jẹ́ pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n sọ mo ti tún gbọ́ lẹ́nu wọn.
He said, God said, this is what you were born to do.
wọ́n ní olúwa sọ pé ohun tó a ti torí ẹ̀ bí ọ sáyé fún ni.
I remember we heard some stories
mo rántí pé a gbọ́ àwọn ìtàn kan.
that some people thought that because Kabiyesi had been a pastor,
pé bóyá nítorí wípé kábíyèsí wa wọ́n ti jẹ́ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn rí.
that he was going to favor the Christians over people of other faiths.
pé bóyá wọ́n máa sojú ṣáájú àwọn kìrìsìtẹ́nì ju gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn yòókù lọ.
I laughed when I heard,
mo rẹ́rìn nígbà tí mo gbọ́.
because I knew that whoever said that does not know Kabiyesi.
nítorí wípé mo mọ̀ pé ẹni tó bá sọrú ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò tí ì mọ̀ kábíyèsí yìí.
I knew that Ogbomoso would be blessed and all would be blessed.
mo mọ̀ wípé Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ yóò di alábùkún fún gbogbo olùgbé ibẹ̀ yóò sì di alábùkún fún.
From my relationship with him,
nípa ìbáṣepọ̀ wa papọ̀.
that his model for doing right
wípé wọ́n ní ọkàn láti máa ṣe ohun tó tọ́.
was not what he learned in a business school.
kì í ṣe ohun tí wọ́n kọ́ nígbà tí wọ́n lọ léèwé.
It wasn't what he learned in university.
kì í ṣe ìtọ́ kọ́ nílé ìwé ga yunifásitì.
So we knew that our king would rule for all.
a mọ̀ wípé ọba wa ń ó ṣe ìjọba fún gbogbo ènìyàn.
In our 35-year friendship,
nínú ọ̀rẹ́ wa tó ti pé márùndínlógójì báyìí ọdún márùndínlógójì báyìí.
where our king, our Kabiyesi,
níbi tí kábíyèsí wa
has got involved in matters,
tí wọ́n ti kópa nínú oríṣiríṣi ọ̀rọ̀
carried it upon himself,
tí wọ́n gbé kárí fún ara wọn
fought on people's behalf,
tí wọ́n ti jà fún àwọn ènìyàn
who had no relationship with
tí wọ́n
him.
tiẹ̀ ní ìbáṣepọ̀ kankan
The
pẹ̀lú
only
wọn.
thing that made him fight like that.
ohun kan náà tí máa mú wọn jà
And
bẹ́ẹ̀.
I don't know if you know that part of your Kabiyesi.
ìmọ̀ bóyá ẹ mọ̀ wípé kábíyèsí yín rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
If you're looking for a fighter,
tí ẹ bá ń wá àjàjàgbara
a true lion,
ẹni tá a lè fi wé kìnìún tí ẹ bẹ̀rù.
somebody who will carry the fight of people,
ẹni tí ó gbé ẹrù ẹlẹ́rù sí àyà tiẹ̀.
God has blessed you with that kind of king.
ọlọ́run ti fún yín nírú ènìyàn bẹ́ẹ̀.
But when Kabiyesi sees injustice,
ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí kábíyèsí bá rí ohun tí ò tọ́.
he is going to fight it to the end.
òun á máa dojú kọ títí dópin ni.
That's the king that Ogbomoso land has been
irú
blessed with.
ọba tí ọlọ́run fi fún ilẹ̀ Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ nìyí.
The way he talks about helping this place,
bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń sọ nípa ṣíṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún ìlú yìí.
the way he's shared a vision for 25 years,
bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń sọ nípa ìran ọdún mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n tó ń bọ̀ tí wọ́n ní.
the excitement with which he told me about how he went to the waterworks and climbed to the top of the waterworks himself, the king.
bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń fi ayọ̀tayọ̀ sọ báwọn ṣe lọ sí ibi dáàmù ibi tí wọ́n ti ń tú omi jáde sí ibi báyìí fúnra ara wọn.
The first day they did the testings and some water came out after 30 years. The joy with which he called me.
ayọ̀ tí wọ́n fi pè mí nígbà tó yẹ pé lẹ́yìn ọgbọ̀n ọjọ́ tómi ti yọ lẹ́nu ẹ̀rọ tómi wá jáde báyìí ayọ̀ ńlá ni wọ́n ní tí wọ́n fi pè mí níbi tí mo wà.
The tears I see in his eyes when he talks about his pain for the poverty in this place.
tí wọ́n bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìní àwọn ènìyàn tómijé ni lójú wọn.
It can only be God who put that in him.
ọlọ́run nìkan ló lè fi irú ìgbọ́gbẹ́ ọkàn bẹ́ẹ̀ sí yàn lọ́kàn.
In his late 20s and early 30s.
ní àárín ọdún bíi 20 sí 30.
At that time,
ní àkókò yẹn
we jokingly called him
a máa ń fi ẹ̀fẹ̀ pè wọ́n
a Lagos-based businessman.
pé ará Èkó oníṣòwò ará Èkó ni wọ́n.
Because amongst his friends,
nítorí pé láàrin àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wọn
he was one of the few that ventured into business.
wọ́n jẹ́ ìkan lára ẹni tí ó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti máa ṣòwò.
But he was determined
ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ní ìpinnu ọkàn
to forge his way in business.
láti tẹ̀síwájú nínú ìṣòwò.
So from importing cars
láti máa gbé àwọn ọkọ̀ wọlé wá láti òkè òkun.
to doing interiors
títí kan tí ṣe inú ilé lọ́ṣọ̀ọ́.
to building reconstruction and restructuring
pé kíkọ́lé àti tuntun ilé kọ́.
to organizing massive conferences and events
láti máa ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ètò ńlá alágbàyanu.
to ventures into oil and gas
láti tún bọ́ sínú ètò ọrọ̀ epo rọ̀bì.
and then to human capital development and training.
àti láti tún máa gbé àwọn ènìyàn sókè nípa ìkọ́ni àti ìtọ́ni.
His biggest passion
ohun tó múmú jù láyà wọn.
is really human capital development and
òun
training.
ni láti máa tọ́ àwọn ènìyàn. ohun gbogbo tí kábíyèsí wa ń ṣe.
Was training
òun ni ìkọ́ni.
for the day he will become Shoun of Ogbomosho land.
fún ọjọ́ tí wọ́n ó di Ṣọ̀ún ilẹ̀ Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́.
A king who is passionate about empowering people.
ọba tó jẹ́ wípé gbígbé àwọn èèyàn ga gbígbé wọn ró ó múmú láyà wọn ni.
He ran it as a successful business.
wọ́n ní okòòwò tí wọ́n ṣe àṣeyọrí nínú rẹ̀.
When he told me the price that some people were offering to buy one of his human capital development companies,
ìgbà tí wọ́n ń sọ fún mi nípa iye tí àwọn kan fẹ́ ra ìkan nínú àwọn iléeṣẹ́ wọn tí wọ́n ti ń kọ́ àwọn ènìyàn.
I thought to myself, that is a lot of money and it's not in naira.
wọ́n á rí i pé owó ńlá tabua ni kì í sì ṣe owó ti náírà tiwa tó ti di lẹ́bùsùkẹ́ yìí.
I watched him build that company from zero.
mo rí bí wọ́n ṣe gbé iléeṣẹ́ yẹn láti ìpìlẹ̀ dé ìpele ibi tó dé.
To where that company has reached.
títí tí iléeṣẹ́ yẹn dé dúró sí.
Can't you see how blessed you are in Ogbomosho land?
ṣe rí i pé Ọlọ́run ó bùkún yín l'Ógbómọ̀ṣọ́.
When I think of some of the fights that I have had in my life,
tí mo bá ronú nípa àwọn ìdojúkọ tí mo ti ní nínú ayé mi.
and I'm not talking about natural fights.
tí mi ò sì sọ nípa ìjà nínú ara.
I'm talking about spiritual warfare.
mò ń sọ nípa ìjà ti ẹ̀mí.
Where wickedness stands against you.
níbi tí inúnibíni tí ó ti dìde lóòró síyàn.
Where evil says you will not go further.
níbi tí ibi ó ti sọ pé rárá o ò lè kọjá ń bí.
Where some people go to places where they think they can get power and they're standing against you.
níbi tí àwọn èèyàn ó lọ sí onírúurú bí gbogbo láti lọ gba onírúurú agbára láti dojúkọ yàn.
In every fight of my life,
nínú gbogbo ìdojúkọ ayé mi,
including a fight for the life of my first son,
títí kan ìdojúkọ tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ìwàláàyè ọmọ mi ọkùnrin àkọ́kọ́.
when I looked to my right,
tí n bá wo ẹ̀gbẹ́ ọ̀tún,
when I looked for who called me every single day,
tí n bá wo pé ta ló ń pè mí ní gbogbo ọjọ́,
when I looked for who prayed with me,
tí n bá wo ta ló gbàdúrà pẹ̀lú mi,
when I looked for who helped me deal
Tim-
with evil powers,
tí n bá ronú pé ta lẹni tó ràn mí lọ́wọ́ láti dojúkọ àwọn agbára òkùnkùn,
the person I saw there,
ẹni tí mo máa ń rí ń bẹ̀
apart from my wife,
yàtọ̀ sí ìyàwó mi,
was our Kabiesi.
òun ni kábíyèsí tó jù.
So I say to you,
mo wá ń sọ fún yín,
he hasn't lost any of that as king.
wọn tí ì sọ gbogbo wọn yẹn nù gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọba.
He still knows how to wrestle against principalities and powers.
wọ́n yìí mọ̀ béèyàn ṣe wọ̀ yájà pẹ̀lú àwọn ipá àti agbára
I
òkùnkùn
feel
gbogbo.
sorry for those who are going to powers against him. Sorry.
àwọn tí mo bá àwọn tí wọ́n ń lọ wá agbára kagbára kiri kẹ́dùn torí wípé wọn ní mú nǹkan bọ̀.
The God who brought him through
ọlọ́run tí ó gbé wọn ga
is still the God he serves.
òun ni ọlọ́run tí wọ́n yìí ń sìn.